Welcome to Freenet Tech Lab. This is a free course by the YouTube algorithm. Please comment, like, share and subscribe to the channel in helping to create more of these kind of tutorials. Just sit back, relax and enjoy the training. Let's dive into the tutorial. Now, our next topic is creating table. Creating table. When they're talking about table it is the intersection of vertical columns and horizontal rows. That's what we call table. And you may ask, what is that table? A table is used for creating the terminal report or reports. We can use table to prepare something like estimate, or we can use table to prepare um, any form of a structure whereby we put information into cells. That is what we call a table work. So anytime that you want to prepare something like a budget or anything that is in the form of you position them into those cells, that is what we call a table work. So we are going to see how to create this table. We have two ways of doing that. One, I'll talk about the 2 or 3 ways of creating our own table. Always you come to the insert on our insert ribbon. You see we have what we call table. So you click on the drop down arrow. You will see we have those cells. These boxes are what we call cells. These boxes are what we call cells. So the number of cells or number of columns or rows that you need, you have to count the number of columns of the drafted data that is on your sheet. So you base on that drafted number of columns, number of rows that you have on your sheet, then you use to insert the same number of columns and rows here for your document that you want to create. So each of these boxes is what we call a cell. But when you are talking about the whole line is what we call a column. And this whole line is also called row. So if I need about 5 row, I'll just click on it. If I don't want, this is what we call a row of a table, and the column is just this one's from top to down. I can decide to undo it and reinsert some additional columns so that we see how it's going to be. You only put your mouse pointer without clicking. Just put your mouse pointer on it. Don't click on it. Just put your mouse pointer. Position it, the number of columns that you need, the number of rows that you need. If you think this one is okay, before you click on it to confirm it. Now I'm able to get 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. So the columns are the spaces from the top to down, and the rows are the spaces from left to right. So you take note of their differences, rows and columns. So take note of that. These spaces are what we call the rows, go in this direction, and the columns are in this ones. So take note. So this is a table, and this is one of the ways of how to create a table. Another way also, we can draw those tables ourselves without using this wizard. That is when you come to the drawing tool. You can use the tool itself to draw the table, but I want us to use the other tool. After that we come to the drawing. So we have the draw table. I can decide to take a box with a mouse pointer on top, get another box, for that source. So you come to the top, another box, another box. So this is how we draw a table. But how long are you going to continue dragging these things, clicking and dragging to draw them? Or else you can use a simple way to do it. So this one, sometimes when you finish using this method to do it and you need like maybe some 2 boxes at the down of it, that's where you can use this one to do. And come here, just click and drag to get another box. So here can be the total. Here, this side can be the total, and this side can also be, but this place will be blank for us. These are another ways of drawing. So I want to take it back so that we see how we can set another one. So we have what we call, we using the custom aspect, but insert table. So when you click on insert table, you count the number of columns on the drafted paper that where you the document that you want to design. As you design it on paper, just count the number of it. If you don't have it on paper, you have to just think about it within your mind and know that maybe I will be in need of 5 columns or 5 columns and 7 rows. So meaning you have to increase this number to either what, five columns. Then the row you want it to be 7, so increase this one to also 7. And when you're done, just click on the OK. So it's going to insert 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns for you, and also 7 what, rows for you. So this is how we insert a table. So you can use the drawing aspect, or you can use the quick table aspect, where you wouldn't go to the table, put the mouse pointer on it, then you just draw your table how you want it to be. So you just take note of how to go about it. This is what we call a table, and a box of this is what we call a cell. So 2 or more cells also forms a table. It's 2 or more that come together to form what, a table. Because you can see as we're drawing, we use the pencil, we draw a first box, second box, and we're drawing it in that order. That's how we used to get a table. So this table, these cells, we can type whatever information you want to put into them. That is the work of what? These cells allow you to type whatever information you want to put into them. So this is how we create a table. Now the next thing that I want us to do is how to select a table. How to select after we finish creating the table, we have to learn how to select a table. That one is quite different from how we select our text and word from the initial topics that we discussed on. This one, if you want to highlight this particular 2 cells, you put the mouse pointer here, then you click and drag. That means you press the left mouse button, then you drag. If you are dragging, you are not going to see any sign. As soon as you cross the next line to enter into the next cell, you will see a sheet, meaning these 2 cells has been highlighted. So this is how we highlight the cells in Microsoft Word. When you are dealing with a table work, how to highlight the table, this is how we go about it. Now if I want to highlight all, I can click in the first one, grab to the last one, and extend it to the down before I will release my hand on the button. You don't just click and leave it. When you click and leave it, the highlight will go up. So always when you click, hold the mouse, the left mouse button, whilst you drag to the last cell before releasing your hand on it. So we can see now I'm able to highlight all the cells within the table. Now if you want to de-highlight it, you just click outside to take your highlight off. Now another way also of highlighting a row or a column, I can decide to highlight a row this way. When you're highlighting a row, you have to make sure that as you start from here, it has to end to the last cell. Don't just highlight from here to here and say you've highlighted a row. No, this one's you've highlighted cells because it's not up to the end of the row, so we can't call this one a row. The same thing applies to the column. The column also, you click and drag. You make sure that it should end before you are able to. You can see you highlight the column. So take note of that. Another way of doing that, you can send the mouse pointer on top of it. When you click, it will highlight the whole column for you. When you click, it will highlight the whole column. You can also click and drag. It will highlight the number of columns that you want for you. So this is how we do the highlighting in Word when you want to highlight a table. You can come to this side also and do the same thing for the rows as well. When the pointer changes, you just click on it and you drag to highlight if you want to highlight all of them. But when you are to deal with one, you are to deal with two or more cells, when you use this procedure, it will only just highlight the whole thing for you. That's the reason why you have to learn how to click, drag to get some portions being highlighted and releasing your hand on it. So you take note of that. So this is how we highlight cells in a table. When you want to highlight a table, we want to do any highlighting for a table work, that's how we go about it. So make sure you know the difference between rows and know the difference between columns. Now our next thing to talk about is how to resize our columns and row. When you create a table, maybe the space that is being provided for you, it is not enough for you so that you can enter your text or whatever written into. So for that matter, you need to resize it to be able to see what you want to do. We have different ways of resizing the table. To resize the whole table, that is the cells, that is the rows and columns, you send the mouse pointer. When you put the mouse pointer to this side, it will give you a notch at the down corner there. Just put the mouse pointer on that. It will change to the diagonal side. Click on it, drag down. So when you release your hand, you can see all the sizes has increased and it has resized all of them to exactly the same size. This is how to resize all the cells or columns and row to get the same size at once. You just go to the notch at the down, put the mouse pointer on. When you change to the diagonal resize, then you click on it, you drag to resize it to the way you want it before releasing your hand on it. So this is one of the way of you resizing the whole column and the columns and rows at the same time. That's once. So take note of that. When you want to highlight a whole table to once, you can just send your mouse pointer to this plus sign and just click on it to highlight the whole table for you. So this is another way also of highlighting the table. So take note of all these things. Just take your time, go through them. If I'm going too fast, you just go through each small, you pause the video, then you practice it. When you get it, you just pause the video and continue. Now, our next thing that I want to talk about is what merging of cells. Merging of cells. So before we move on to the merging of cells, I want us to I want us to resize some of the cells so that you see how it works. Before I come to that one, when you want to resize this particular cell, maybe the space there is too big for you, you want to reduce it. You just put the mouse pointer on that horizontal line that is coming from the left to right. Just put it on any one of them. Your cursor will change. When the cursor change, you only make sure that you move. You click on it and drag. When it changes, you click and drag to drag it up. And see, I'm able to reduce the size there. Maybe here I want to just type 1, 2, 3 over here. But when you look at the space here, the space is too big for this 1, 2, 3. So I can just put the mouse pointer on this vertical line, any part of it. So just put it on top of it. It will change to this sign. Click on it and drag to what? Reduce the space here. Maybe for names, I want more space here so that when I'm typing the name of either a student or whatever it is or any object, it will be able to go here. So I need to resize this one to can decide to resize the size here. So this is how we resize the cells itself. Or if you want to resize any of the columns or the rows, that's how we go about it. So take note of the differences. If you want it to only apply to this one, you put the mouse pointer on the line and it will change to this one. You can click and drag to expand or to close it. The same thing applies to any part of the table that you want to reduce or to increase its size. Now, as I was talking about merging of cells is one of the things that you will be using a lot. To get to a place where you have to join one or two or more cells so that you can be able to put an information there. That is what you call merging. When you are joining two or more cells, is what you call merging of cells. So when I look at this portion, I can decide to join these two cells. What you have to do is what you need to highlight it. Anytime you highlight it, it tells the computer that you should operate or to work on those cells. So you click and you drag. If you are dragging, you will not see anything until you cross the line before you see the effect. So you can see this one has been what highlighted. So these two, since this one has been highlighted, I want to merge these two cells to become what one cell. When you come under design, we have other tools that will apply or to affect it. When you come under layout also, we have other tools here that will affect this particular thing that we select. So what we want to do is to merge it. So we just go to that particular tool. We will be talking about a lot of the tools under this one. This, we have what merge. So merge cell, when I click on it, it will just what erase the line here. It will make these two cells become one cell. You can also highlight it and decide to right click on it. When I come down, we have what we call merge cell. You can go by any of those ways, either going to the layout and selecting the merge cell, or right clicking on it and selecting what merge cell. The two ways, or you are good to go. So just practice the two ways so that you will be used to. Don't just learn only one of the aspects and leave the other one. Otherwise, you will forget how to use the other one. Sometimes students normally decide to use the right clicking and forgetting about using the layout ribbon formations. So when you come there, there are a lot of information here. The right mouse button will also help you to get the shortcut information of that particular selected object. So now let's try our hand on another way. I can decide to highlight the ones here. Then I'll take merge cell. Sometimes you will get to a place where the head you want to merge two of the space over there so that you can write a full heading there. So you only highlight them, you merge those cells. I can highlight or up to somewhere here and what right click to what merge cells. So this is how we merge cells. So take note of that. Now the next thing that I want to talk about again is deleting rows and columns. Deleting rows and columns. Then we go to how to insert extra rows and columns. Deleting rows and columns. When I talk about deleting rows, these ones are the rows. Maybe after inserting your number of rows for the table, you realize that no, you've mistakenly inserted more than what you need. So if I don't need this one, this row, and this row, what I need to do is what to highlight them. This two row is what I don't need. We have two ways of doing that. You can right click on the one you select. What do you want to do? You want to delete cells. So they are all cells. So you just click on what? Delete. It will ask you, are you sure you want to delete or you want to shift this cell to the left? You just say okay. Then it's like, sorry, highlight it off. You right click on it again. You go to the delete cells. So we are deleting, that is the row. You can see that one is off. You can decide to highlight again. Go to the delete. That is a row, so you make sure that you select the row so that it will take it off for you. So this is how we delete it. And another way also of doing that, you can just highlight this two row that I want to delete. When I come to the top, what do we have? We have this X standing for delete. So we just click on the drop down arrow. What do you want to delete? Because I highlight rows, two of the rows, so we make sure that you select what? Delete rows. So you can see the tool is off for you. So this is how we delete rows and what? Columns. So take note of that. You can use the right mouse button or you come to the layout and what? Use the delete over there. Now, if I want to delete the whole table, what I need to do, I need to highlight the whole table. You can either use any of the ways of highlighting, it works. You click on this or you click this way to highlight all of them, it works. Now what do we have here? We have what? This draw table, we have erase table. Then when it comes to where the delete is, what do we have here? We have delete table. Click on it, then your table is gone. So we have to insert another table again so that we use for the other exercises. Now, another way of deleting is you using the layout ribbons or you using the right mouse button to delete what you want to delete, or either a cell or you want to delete a row or column or the whole table. But make sure that you take note that make sure that anytime you want to delete anything over here, you make sure you select what you want to delete, as the command won't work. Now our next thing is how to insert extra columns and rows. After inserting your table, you realize that the number of rows that you have here is not enough. Maybe you need about 7 of them. So since 7, you have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many is left to be added? We need to add 3. So what do? You have to highlight 3 of the column that is here. So 1, 2, 3. You can see 3 of the column. Then you can use the layout ribbon to insert it, or use the right mouse button. I'll use each of them so that you see the effect of them. So when I come to this side, because we are inserting below or above it, you see one arrow is going down, one arrow is going up, and this one is for the left and right. So we're coming to this one. So since we want it, what we want to insert, maybe the names that we've written names into this, or there are text or informations into these cells already before, you realize that no, you need additional one. Never mind that there are informations inside, just highlight the number of cells. Then you can say, because after this one, I need additional 3 at the down. So that means it should be below. You have to insert it below. You just click what below. Then you can see it will add additional 3 for you. That's how we insert it. If you want it to be above, that's where you use the one is what insert above. Let's assume the words or the text that you insert there in this, but you need 3 of the rows that you have to put in some information before these information that are in this cells. So that's where you put it above. But when you realize that you have to put it below it, that's where you select the below option. So let me just take above. You can see the above, it has moved to the down, and the one that is having the information rather will be pushed to the down. So where the new rows has been set, you see that your highlight information will be there. So you take note of that. So this is how we insert rows. So when you want to insert additional rows, you realize that the rows that you have is not enough. The ones that the table that you draw, the rows that are inside it, you just highlight the number of it. If assuming you need about 10 of it, and what is here is not up to 10, never mind, just do first 5, then you insert, then highlight again first 5, then insert to get those 10 attached to it. That is how we go about it. Now the next one is how to insert columns. How to insert additional columns or extra columns to the ones that we have. After we inserting these 4 columns, we realize that no, we need additional 3. Additional 3 of these columns. So meaning that one also we have to highlight 3 of the columns. So before I move on to that one, I want to talk about the right mouse button for the rows. When you right click also, insert, you say we have insert here. What do you want to insert? I want to insert a column to the left, no. A column to the right, no. That should be insert a row above or a row below. So if you don't want to use the layout over there, you can use the right mouse button. When I click on it, you also insert it for me. So either you use this way or you use this way to insert those rows below. So what we just did now, we are going to apply the same thing for the column as well. So I'll just highlight these 3 columns. That's what I need. When I right click on it, I go to insert. What do I want to insert? If also what I type, the document that I want to add additional document to the one that is here. It should be here. After here, those new information should appear here. They have to insert the column to the left side. But what you are going to enter, if you want it to be at this side, then you have to insert the column to the right side. So that place is going to be the blank page that you can type in the new thing. But when you realize that those informations are supposed to come before the informations that are into these 3 cells, then you have to insert it to the left side. So the left side, that means you're going to get 3 blank columns between this column here and this one. So that is how we go about it. So let me just take left. So you can see it has insert additional 3 to the blank one. So meaning this way you are going to type this one. So when you select to the right, it goes to the right. So left, you also push it to the left. Let me just stick to the left and let's see how that one also works. So this left. So you can see the left, it will push it side by side. So it's going to be in between the 2 eyes. Now, when you come to this place also, I want to insert it to the left. So when I say, you can see, so now this place where the highlighted one is, that is the new column that has been added. So the initial one that we highlighted before, we were able to get the 3. Here are they. So those ones will push. Initially, their information is already in them. So they will push to the right side. And the new one will be added here for us because we realized that after this column, there should be some 3 informations here before those ones. So this is how we go about it. But when you realize that the informations are to be before this one, that's where you put it to the right side. So as this one is being highlighted, let's just take the right and see what's going to happen. You can see that now this one has moved and the old 3 is there. So this is how we insert extra columns. And as the way we've gone through the rules is similar thing. So this is how we go about it. So just take your time, practice it, and you see how it's going to be the effect of it. Sometimes you can try to type something to all those cells. When you finish typing to them, then you apply those how to insert extra columns and rows. Then you see the effect of the left and the right. I don't want to prolong the video, that's why I'm trying to explain it this way for you so that you get it. So just type anything to them and you try your hand. So I'll try and get some examples of table work so that you see how it goes about. Now our next thing, since we are done with how to resize columns and row, merging of cells, inserting extra rows and column and deleting rows and column, we want to format this table. That is the next thing. We want to do the formatting. We want to format the table to see how attractive. We all know what formatting is. When I talk about formatting, that is you making the table appear well or attractive. That is what we are going to do now. So to format a table, you need to highlight the table. If you want to format a table, you need to highlight it. So just click on this sign to highlight the whole table. Now whatever we want to do is going to affect this table. So we call this formatting of table, which is under borders and shading. There are different ways that you can use to format this table. When you come to the borders and shading, you come to the borders and shading or formatting. When you come under design, we have what you call um, shading here. Click on this drop down arrow. We have more of the information that is here. But I want us to go through each information. I can click where this border is. I can click on this sign here to take us to what? The borders and shading property. So this where we want to deal with. And there are different places where we can get these borders and shading. When you come under home, we also have the paragraph, we have the stars. Um, Under page layout, we also have what we called the spacing paragraph. Under design also, we have what we call the page borders. So then we have this is the page borders. We can use this process to get it. If I move to this side, it can take me to the same place. I can also use alright, so guys, I think that are some of the places where we can get these borders and shading. But there is one aspect also that we can get that is what I think this Office 2013. That's why it's like this. Confuse me. Okay, when you come to where we have these borders, you can click on this drop down arrow. You see pages, that's borders and what shading. You can use this place also to what get those information. So it's like it's the same thing. These are the three places where you can get it. If you want to get it, one I said you can click on this arrow here. One to get it, or two you go to under this border. You come to borders and shading. There's two. Then under in the design, you can click on this. It will also take you to that place. So these are the three ways. So you just take your time and go through the design. You get one at the design. You get one. The design, you can see we have two, but the one here is for the table work. So take note of that. This one is different. Well, as I initially said that as we are working, you will be getting additional menus that will be joined to the ones that we have. So you can see that design and layout need to join. When we are working with picture work, you'll be seeing something like formats. All those ones will be added to it. So just take note of those additional tools or additional menus that has been added. Now let's move on to our borders and shading. Let me use the design aspects. I want us to start with the first one. That is the page border. This is what we call the border tab. This is also page border tab, and this is the shading tab. So what we are going to do, we want this our table to be attractive. So when you come to this side, we have settings. These are the layout of settings that we have. Then we have styles of what lines. We have color, then the thickness or the width of a line, then our preview, how our table is going to look like. That's how we are going to see over here. When you select now, meaning you don't need any, like when you click OK, your table is not going to get any line for you, so you can bring it back. Go to this side, then you go to box. You only get the outer lines, you are not going to get the inside ones, so you take note of that. That is the work of that one also. Now when you select all, that one is going to give you both inside and the outside. In all, as we are doing, you need to select the type of line you want to use. If you want this one, that is what is going to apply. If you want the color for it, you can pick the color. The thickness, you can change the thickness. That's what you're going to see. So when you select all, it's going to apply it for both. You're going to get the lines for the outside and the outer lines and the inside line. When you click on OK, you're going to get the same thing. So this is how we format our table. Now we are still on the table work. We have what we call grid. The grid will allow you to be able to apply some changes to maybe the outer lines, and so when I pick a line, you can see as soon as you click on it, change all the information. Then these buttons here are to control. This one is to control the line that is at the top. This one is to control all lines moving from left to right, and this one is only to control the last line at the down. This one is also to control the line here, and this one is also to control the line at the edge here. But the one at the middle is also controlling all lines that is moving from top to the bottom. That is within the left and right lines. So you take note of that. If you want to take it off, just click on it. It will go up. When you click on this, it will also go up. So when you click outside, you can see that all our inside lines are off. That's how it goes. So you make sure that always, if you want to bring, just click on it, it will bring it. When I bring it, you can see now all my inside lines are for the column is active. When you go back, you can do the same thing for the row also. Now there's one difference between the grid and the custom. The custom, you can apply different changes and settings to the table work that will work well. But when you come to something like power, as soon as you change the color, it affects all. When you change the line also, it affects all. But with the custom, that one is not like that. I can give different line, different style of colors to any of the things. So I can decide that I'm taking this one. I say that is not effective. So I can take the color, it should be blue, this one blue color. So that is not still applying. So where do I want the thickness also? I can select this type of thickness. Now, which part of the table do I want to apply this style of line? So I may say that this one should be for only the from top to down. When I click one on the button, it will take it off. When I click the second time, it will come with the new style that I want. Then I can decide to change the one that is here. That one I will give different color to it. Then the thickness, I'll maintain this one. And where do I want to apply this? I want this one should be the inside. And I click one, it goes off. Second one, it comes. Now the outer lines, I can change those ones also. And say this one should be for the top. So let me change the color for it. I can give this color to me. So I'll say it's too thick. Let me take this one. So this one should be for both the top and the bottom. And then this one here should be for the left and the right. So when I'm done, just click on OK. So you can see how my table is going to look like. So this is how we format the table. Just take your time, go through the steps so that you can be able to go through without no challenge. Take your time, just go through the steps. Take time, go through it one after the other, and you are good to go. Now, you highlight your work again, you go to the borders, you click on it. If you don't highlight the work and you go and select, do all these changes, it will not affect your table. So as what we want to do to affect the table, always make sure that you highlight your table first before you go and do any changes to it. Excuse me. So now, how we are able to do that, we can apply the same thing to the borders. But for the borders, we don't need to highlight the table. So here is going to deal with the page itself. That's why we call it page border. Yeah, it's not going to affect our table. It's the page itself. So we call that one page border. So with that one, I can decide to click outside and do whatever I want to do. I can just go to where the borders are. Just click here. What do I want to? What I want to do should affect the page border. If you deselect your table and your border, this is not showing under the design. We have what we have our page border that you can go and pick it from there. So this one is to only affect the end of the page. Sometimes you may be asked to design something like certificate. As you are done with the certificate, you want to put a wrap around it. That's why you go by that. This one also is similar to the borders and shading. So it's similar to the borders that we have. So here, when you select none, you don't need anything. When you select box, you have to get the box. We have this one, the box with a shade around it. We have the 3D also, then the custom. The custom is similar to the other one. If you want to apply different style to the edges, you can do that. So this one is going to affect only where our margin of the paper that we are dealing with. So it's going to be something that will pass somewhere here. So let me just take the box first as example, and we try and see what is going to happen. You can see where that line is passing. So at the end, when you are designing a certificate, you just use some of these things to wrap around it. That's what we call the wrap borders. So I can decide to change the lines if I'm to use the custom. I'll say this place should be what the color work for it. Green for I select green for this side. Okay, for this side. Then this type of color and this type of line. Then you also select different color for that side. Now one can be for only the top. Something of this sort. If you think this one is okay for you, just click on OK. So you can see what is happening. So what is showing here, that's what you are going to see. So we call these ones, that is the page borders. Page borders. And there's another way also. We have what we call word art. If you want to use any of this, you just click on it. So it give you a wrap around it. You think this one is not nice for you and you want to change it, always with the page border, so you just go there. There's difference between the page and the borders and the page borders. So we have different things within the border art. So you can just go there and look for a nice design. If you have to design something like a certificate, just go there and apply it so that your design is going to be nice. And decide to take something of this sort. So that's what I've been used to design a certificate. Alright, so that is about the page borders. So just pause the video, go through it so that you'll be familiar with it. I'm highlighting this table again. I want to apply some changes to that is the pattern aspect. So that is the shading. So go to the same place. We have shading. The shading fill. We want to put some kind of background colors. So that's what they call the fill. If I want it this way, click on OK. Like this is how it's going to be. So you can see the green within the background of what the table. So if I want to change that green to a texture or any pattern, you just go to the same shading. We have the pattern value, what type of pattern can take it, should be the solid or should be 5%. Then the color of the texture. I can decide to take something ash this way. So when you click outside, that's where you see. So those texture, the texture is in the form of something like hash or boxes. That's how it looks like a texture or patterns. This is how they look like. So you can go through these things, take your time. Then sometimes you can do a research on certificate and see how they are being designed. You should be able to design if you are able to go through these steps. Take your time and you go through the steps well. You should be able to do exactly what you are seeing on that certificate. There are some advanced applications that are being used to design certificates. But if what you are trying to design is not to that standard, at least you should be able to design some nice thing. So we shall be going through some of the tools how to insert those pictures and things, so you take note of that. So this is how we go about the borders, the shading. That is how, if you want to we want to format our table. So what we did here, we just apply some changes or we format the table. So take note of that. Take your time, pause the video, go through. If you are okay with it, then you just continue the video so that it will not be like you just have a lot of things that you are going through. Now, our next thing that I want us to we are going to talk about is how to insert word art, inserting of shapes and text box. So I will take a new sheet. So Control N, then now I can expand this my window small so that I can see what I want to do. And to insert shapes, we have different kind of shapes. And inserting of text, you go to the insert. We have what we call shapes. Put the mouse pointer on it. We have different types of shape. Any type of shape that you want, just put the pointer on it, click on it, come to your working space or working space, just click and drag to get the shape. You click outside. If you want another one, just go to the insert shapes. So any of the shapes that are there, you can draw them. Just feel free, go there, shapes, whatever shape that you think that you want, just go there and pick it, come and draw it. You are good to go. All the shapes that are there, you just use the same procedure. After clicking on it, just come to your workspace, click and drag to get the shapes. These are what we call shapes. Now, if you learn how to insert the shapes, we also have to learn how to apply colors to these shapes. You can see that as we select this shape, the shape is being filled with a blue color. Before we can highlight or select a shape here, it's not in the form of the way we highlight text. That one you have to come and click on the shape. When you click on it, you are going to see these notches around it. That is the control or shape control notches. As soon as you see this one, meaning this particular shape is what active. So whatever you are going to do to this particular shape to affect it, as soon as you click, you see that we have what we call format. The format is showing, and these are the properties for this particular shape. Anything that you do here is going to affect this particular shape. So that is going to be for the rest of them also. But because this is the one I select, if I want to resize, the size of this shape is too small for me. We've learned how to resize things, windows and other stuff. It's the same procedure here. This notch here is to control, to expand it to the right side. This one also is to expand it to the left side. You can reduce it, the same thing. You can do the same thing for the right also, the same thing for the down and the top also as well. What I'm doing for this shape, you can do it for any other shapes, pictures, clip art, and all those things. Any object that you click on that you will see this sign around them. Meaning these signs are used to what? Control them. So if I want to resize it once or when I can put the diagonal size, you can see that I'm getting this side and this side once. So this is how we control these shapes. If you want to rotate any shape, you can see this sign over there. Just put your mouse pointer. The sign will change to this way. You can click and what? Rotate it to the size that you want. That's how we rotate shapes. Now, what I want us to do here is to take this fill out. Take this fill out. So sometimes when you click and you didn't see the format here, maybe you are somewhere here, or you see that the format is showing here, you have to come and click on the format. Then you take the information from there. We have our fill with color. The fill that we've seen in paint is the same thing that is here. This fill with color is supposed to fill this object for us. So if we don't need any color here, we just click on the drop down arrow and we select no fill. This is how we take the line out of it. Then we take the fill out of it. If you want color for it, click there. We have a lot of colors here. The one that you prefer, just select it for it. So this is how we take the fill out and how to fill the object with color. Now when you come to the down, we have a line. This symbol is for the line. You can see a pencil striking. So this pencil is using to scribble something over there. So this pencil is for line, and you can see the color under that pencil. If I want to change these outer lines, that is where I need to go. So we call that one shape outline. That is the shape outline. So if I want the color for it, I can select the color. If I want this color, I can consider it's red. If I don't need any color for this shape, I can click what? No outline. No outline. You can see that the lines on the back. This one there, the lines are showing. So this is how we take the line out and how to apply a color for it also. So if I want it back, I can give black color for the line. Now what I did for this particular shape, you can apply it for all the shape. It's the same procedure. So I'm just using one as example so that I won't prolong the video. Now our next thing that I want to talk about is inserting a text box. Setting a text box. When we are talking about inserting a text box, that is using the text to write. If you want to write into these shapes, it's only the text box that can allow you. This is an example of the text box. Or the one here, when you come to insert also, we have another shape. This is the symbol for it. You see the A in a box with this line. When you put the mouse pointer on it, the name for it will display for you. That's text box. So if I want it, I only just click where I want it to be, drag. Then I only put the information into it. When I'm done with that, I just click outside. And with the text box, the main work that we want the text box to do for us is to help us to be able to insert text on our object. So we don't want the fill around it. We don't want the line also around it. So if I want to move any of this object, you have to click on it. When you click on it, you make sure that you wait for the cursor to change to this plus sign. As soon as you change to this sign, you can click and drag. The same thing applies to this one. So when you change, you see the plus sign. So this one is used for moving. So take note. Anywhere that you are going to meet these two symbol, that is for what moving, you take note of that. There are some advanced applications that we all use this same function. So if you know how to operate with these tools well, then you are good to go when you meet any of those advanced applications. Now, as I was saying, our text box is only to provide us text on this sheet. But when you look at it, it's giving us a fill and also a line around it. And we've learned how to take out fill, how to take out lines. So what I need to do is just to click on it. Then I will go to where my fill is. I'll just tell no fill. See the fill is out and it left the line. What do I do? I will also go to the shape outline again and say no outline. So when I click outside, you can see now my text is on this object for me. So this is how we write informations on pictures, clip art, or shapes. So we shall be moving on straight to how to insert pictures and clip art from this particular after this particular topic. So this is how we go about inserting shapes and also text boxes. So try your hands on it so that you will become perfect. Now the next thing I want us to insert clip art. We go to the same insert. When you go to insert, we have our pictures and we are going to talk about the pictures and the clip art. So let me start with the pictures first. When you go to pictures, click on it, you look for or you browse the location where your pictures are. So if this is the picture I want to click on it, go to insert, then to insert it for me. So if this picture I want to move it from where it's supposed If it's not supposed to be here, I can just click and press enter to what? Move it to the next line. I can also decide to resize this picture if it's too big for me. The same procedure that we use for resizing. So we take note of that. I resize these pictures without no difficulties. Alright, so let's try to insert some. Also, this is a picture work. If you want to insert other applications, it will give you a picture gallery here to want to select the picture. At this one, as soon as you click on the picture icon that is here, this is for the from far, it will just take you direct to where those pictures are, where you have your pictures. If you can't find it, you have to make sure that you explore those folders. You know where you keep your pictures. So since you know where you keep your pictures, when the dialog was open for you, you just go straight. If your pictures are somewhere, you just go and open that portion and therefore look for your pictures. So I think I don't have any pictures. So the ones I have, you just go straight and select those pictures. Now let's move on with our clip art. When we talk about the clip art, it's similar to what the pictures are, but those ones, they are in the form of this kind of sketch or cartoons. But since here we don't have that option, we can get them out of the picture, or that's where we have the online pictures and all those things. We can get some of those clip art from there. They are all in the form of what? Picture work. So you take note of that. That's how we insert clip art. Now our next thing that I want us to talk about is how to insert word art. When I talk about word art is one of the text that we insert on top of our letterheads. If you want to normally use them letterheads or for headings and those stuff. We can use them not only for headings, sometimes to apply those written at a particular important places. So that is some of the things that we use word art for. Mostly people normally use them in writing a letterhead. So I just want us to try an example of that. Let me just take a new sheet so that we go through that one also. So inserting of word art, we've learned about how to insert pictures and also shapes. So word art, you can see that one is being located here. When you come to this side, we have different categories of word art. Those ones may be written with either a shadow or in a round curve. So word art is one of the things that we normally use to write this kind of headings. So I'll just click outside. In the format that I want to apply to it, if I decide that this type of word art is not okay for me, I can decide, especially the latest versions of Microsoft Offices, is that they take some of these tools, some of those effective way of getting this kind of word art. Some of them are not in these latest versions. So the ones that are here, you sometimes have to go online to get some of them. So let's come to this path selecting. This one, how you want the rating should be. If you want it to be round, if you want it to be curved, or that is up down or round, you can just pick it the way you want it to be. So you can see how this one is. So sometimes this kind of letterhead and that's what they use for doing that. I can decide to pick this one, use this one for the letterhead of my organization. So when you want to use something of this sort, you just click on it. You can also enlarge this one. Then down you put your information on below it. So maybe it can be PO box 191 in that order. Then you position it below it. So you just put your other addresses. After you are done, you can insert, go to where the insert shapes. You just pick what line. When you pick your line, you draw a line below it. So this is how we want our maybe our letterhead should be. You make sure that you have to move it up so that there should be the margin here, the space shouldn't be too big, so that you can be able to get enough space to put in your document. We have the color of line. You can decide to change the color of line, or when I want to format this line, I can also right click on it and go to format shape. I can go to this side and select the thickness of the line. So as I'm selecting, I'm able to get what? 3. So if it's okay for me, I can use the copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V to copy this one again and just reduce one of the sizes of the line. So this one I can reduce the size of it. So you would see it as one thick and one thin line. So this is how we go by some of these basic designs. Then you see that I'm able to get some perfect letterhead sample. So my ratings or the company's rating, whatever I want to do, can be here. You can copy this, group this line, and send them to the down as well. So that's one of the things that I want us to go through. So if you are to insert those symbols or you want to insert those shapes, you can just come here. If I need like something like a Venn diagram, with those Venn diagrams here. This Venn diagram, I'll take my, I don't need a field, so I can just say no field. Then I'll go for my triangle. It will depend on what you want to do. I decide to go by this way. This is also taking out my fill from the fill. So now if you are to write to it, you learn how to write into objects. So always you just go through the same procedures. Then I can take my text box. Here is supposed to be X. This place is supposed to be X. After I'm done with this, I have to take no fill, no line, so that those things will not pop up when I position it into the intersection area. So this is how we go about it. And there's one thing also under the shapes that you also need to know. You have to make sure that when you are done, you group them. I can decide to copy this one, Ctrl C, Ctrl Z to take it back. You highlight it, make sure that the cursor is not blinking before you copy. Ctrl V. For this will pop up, you can put this one here. Put 5 here. Then you put something like 7 here. So this can be the union. You can put the other necessary information. And one thing that you also need to know about is when you are done, you have to group this object. You go to this place, select. When you come to the select, you select object. When you select all objects. Select all. You can only select text. But this one is an object, so we are going to deal with only this object. So you can highlight, like click, and then you hold the control. Click. So you can see how it's going to pop up. You go to now all those objects have been selected now. You go to the format, we have what we call group. Then click on group, then they will become one thing. If you want to move it, you can move all of them once together. But if you don't group them, it's going to be, if you drag one, only one that will move. If you want to ungroup them, just go to the same place again and do what? Ungroup. So when you move only one, it's only one that will move. So that's how it works. So take note of that. I inserted some picture. I want to demonstrate something for you. Those pictures we can use them in our text. So if I have some text here, and my cursor is somewhere, I want to put this text picture somewhere. Go to the insert. Okay, that is the picture. I want to insert this one. But the size of it is too big for me. What I want to do is I need to reduce it. Now this picture, you can see we have the format. It's giving you a lot of options under it. Then what we call text wrap. You have to make sure that you know of this. When it says square, it will allow the text around the image. When it says tight, it should be closer, the text will be closer to it. True, it will allow them to get closer to it. If it's a top, meaning bottom, the text is going to be at the top or bottom of it. Behind it, meaning it will go to the back of what? The text. So these are some of the things that you have to know how to use. We have the cropping, if you want to crop the picture. All these things are here. So you take your time, just go through. Since I'm able to take you through the basic aspects, there are a lot of things that you have to take your time and go through. So when you are dealing with text and an image, more time you need to select what. When you right click also, if I click, you see we have a wrap text. You need to go with the true, so that it will allow the picture will allow the text to be closer to it. You can see that now the text is what closer to it. So if it is something that is supposed to be in between the text and the things, you can be able to do that. But if you didn't select it that way and it is top or above, it will not allow any text to be at the left side of it or the right side of it, or it will not allow any text to get closer to it. So you take note of all those things. I just went back to show you some brief about some of the advanced aspects of you using a picture in this kind of document aspect. And the same thing applies to the grouping thing that I did. The video I was talking about that is the word art. So this one also is one of the things that is under the shape. So take note of that. You position them, taking the frame, using to design something like a Venn diagram, then grouping them to become one thing. But if you don't group it, you don't group them, and you are trying to copy it before you realize all the things, one will be at one aspect, one will be at one aspect, and the whole work is going to scatter up. So always try to group your work so that when you are moving, it can all move to one place for you. Now our next thing, as I'm talking about, I'm back to the word art. So the word art is one of the things that I said we normally use, especially when we want to apply and want to put something like a heading at the top. The word art also we can use the true, because you can see if I want to move it, it goes to the app. So we have what we call, when I right click on it, I use the text wrap and all those things. The text wrap is here. It will allow me, so you can see the importance of the text wrap. So allow you to be able to send some of these things closer to those objects. So without doing it, it's going to give you a problem. So you take note of that. I can select these two things. I want to highlight the two of them. Copy, then you paste them. So that one you can move one to the down where you want it to be. As I'm done with this, I can close this one so that I'll get enough space. So just position it somewhere here. If you are to add your address again or any short informations, you can put it here. So this space becomes, it will be left for you to put in your letters or informations or maybe your estimate or whatever it may be. So that is how the letterheads that we design letterheads on those things by using the word art for those headings and stuff. So you can do more research about the word art and see how we use them. So that is about word art. The next thing that I want to talk about is the header and the footer. Header and footer. When you are talking about header and the footer, let me just use one of the texts that our previous work so that you can see it clear. Header and the footer. It's similar to reapplying page numbers. So we insert it at the top and the bottom. So when you talk about header means you want that information to be at the top of each page. But when you say it will be at the footer, meaning the bottom of each page. So we just go to where the insert is. You see that we have header. It's similar to our page numbers. So if I want to be at this place, I can select this one. But the second one gives me the option of getting the 3 to get it at the left, center, or right. So what do? You can see this is the end of the paper, so meaning the top. I'm dealing with the top now. Let me just go with this one, the second one. So at the top of it here, I can decide to put date or time here. I just wanted to see something clear, so I just want to reduce it for you to see how it works. When you select your date and time, we have our date and time. You click on it. Which type of date? We have long date and we have short date, and we have long time and short time. So if I want it to be long date, it will be written in this Wednesday, July 6, 2022, or I can select a short date, 6 July 2022. If I want time to be part, I can also do that. But I want only one of them should be only the date. So I can decide to take only date. Then click on what? Okay for that. Then this one I'll come and put like time over here. So I'll use the same tool again. But this time I need to select only time. So I can say 6:36 p.m. or 6:36 p.m. with the seconds. This is the short and this is the long time. So how you want it to, just select it. Then this side also, if I'm to put the company's logo here, I'll just go to image and select, or if I want to put a page number at that side. This one is too big for the logo, so you can see how it pushes the whole thing down. So you have to make sure that you reduce the size of your logo so that it can be displayed there for you. That's what I just did. So when you think this one is okay for me, you need to confirm by double clicking on your workspace. So all this thing is going to be displayed at the top. So you'll see this information at the top. So this is how we go by the header. So you do the same thing for the footer also. If you want, you need to apply only one. If you want to go by the header, go by the header. If you want to go by the footer, you go by the footer. But sometimes you can decide to put only the logo at the top, then the rest of the information may be at the footer. So anyhow that you wish you want to design your document, you can do it, but you have to do it in a professional way so that it will not scare your audience. Now, inserting header and footer. So let me just try for the footer also. I see this one is also similar. I can decide to pick any one of them. At the down, if I like, I can delete only these ones. Delete this one, I only need one away. So since I have the date, time are there and the logo there, I only select this one. Then what do I can apply the page number over here. So let me insert the page number. So the page number, I want it to be at the bottom, so you can go by that or just ignore that one and insert different documents for it. So let me just take this one. Let's go. After that, you just double click on your working space to confirm your work. Then you are good to go. You are able to insert the header and the footer. So this is how we go about applying header and footer. Let me save this work. This is a new work that I can just copy, so I'll save it and put it also in the studies. So I can name it as try work 2. Try work. So it's also in that folder. So on the title bar you see try work. What I want to talk about now is how to, since we are able to go through the header and footer, I want us to protect the document. How to protect your document. Sometimes when you finish typing your document and you leave it done, somebody can come in and put in either any other information, or if there is some document you don't want anybody to get access to. That's where you have to make sure that you put password security, you encrypt those documents. Now, when you look at this document that is here, how to protect this document. Sometimes when you have children at home that you leave you after typing your boss document and you want to go and pick something and you see your kid will just come and press the keyboard and with some other letters that will interfere into what you typed. So what happens is that you have to lock those text so that any keyboard input or anything that will be pressed or any additional text will be rejected. So always you just come to the file. When you come to file, you just come to you see we have info. Excuse me. After the info we have protect document, inspect document. So I want to deal with the protecting of the document. So when you click on it, we have what mark as final. So you just click on the mark as final. To ask, are you sure? Say yes, okay. Then okay. So now that mark as final is what active. When I click on it, you see that there's a shade around it, meaning that one is the active tool that I have over there now. So I can go back. Let's see what is going to happen. I want to just press. I see as I'm typing, nothing is coming because I have locked that one so that any keyboard input is not going to affect it. That's why when you want to do editing, that's where you have to get the test information. So after taking it off, let's say that there, as I type, it changes or additional things have been added. So that's how we protect the document by preventing any other input information or any input text into what we have, especially when you have keys that will disturb or those that are trying. You also try to type something on the keyboard. When you leave it, sometimes anybody can bypass and put in any other information. So you just lock it. If the person doesn't have any knowledge about unlocking it, and try and it will not work. Now our next thing is how to encrypt the document itself. We are going to the same place again, but this time we are not going to use the mark as final. What I want us to encrypt with password. To encrypt with password. And one thing about this aspect is when you put in your password, and you forget your password, then I think that is all. So all what you need to do is to make sure you write your password somewhere else, so that when you forget, you can go and look for it. Because you can see the information is a caution. If you lose or forget the password, it cannot be recovered. So you have to take note of what you are going to do. Take note of the password. If you really knows that you remember the password, you can put password on the document. Sometimes there are some secret documents that you don't want anybody to get access to. So those documents, you put password on it, and you make sure that you protect that password. Know that where you are to keep that password, so that anytime that you are looking for it, you can get it easy. So let me just put the password 1, 2, 3 on this document, and I click on OK. It will ask me to retype the password again. 1, 2, 3. Now I'll click on OK again. Now this document has been what encrypted. So anytime I want to um, open this document, I need to provide a password before I can open this document. So let me just close this document. It's asking me, do I want to save it? Yes, I want to save it now. So let me go to the folder study. What's the name? Is it try work? I think that is it. Let me open it and see. So you can see the document is now it's asking me for password. So 1, 2, 3. You click on OK for it to open it for you. So this is the document we want to open. So when you forget the password, then forget that document does not belong to you. So make sure you keep your password, and you can give a password that you can remember, or if you know I can't remember, write it somewhere so that when you are looking for it, you can just go there and enter it into to get access to your documents. So this is how we protect our document in Word. This thing is the same procedure is applied when you are using Excel. So take note of that. Anytime you want to protect your document in Excel, also we go through the same procedure for protecting our document. The next topic that I want to talk about is to how to print on an envelope. That is the next thing I want to talk about. How to print on an envelope. So to print on an envelope, that is one thing that um, we need to know. Especially sometimes you have these small envelopes that you want to add addresses and those things to, so that you print them out, then attach your document to. So if you don't know how to do that, you will find it difficult to print maybe the addresses or those things on your envelope. So when you go to mailing, you see that we have envelopes. You click on that one. When you click on that one, we have the nice envelopes and what labels. We have envelopes tab and we have labels tab. So they are almost similar things. You have the delivering address, so meaning the address that you are to send the information to. You type that address here. Type that address here. And that order. So this one, so that is the address for this one. You are sending the letter to someone at Accra, and you can put the information of the delivery. Maybe the person is sending this letter from US. USA. So here is the preview. The deliverer's address is going to be here, and there's the returning address. So this person is sending this letter to this person. So here it becomes what the deliverer's address. That is going to be what will be on the middle aspect, and the top left corner is going to be for the returning address. So if this person wants to reply that person back, the person will be using this address. That is what we call returning address. This person is sending to this person, and this person will also return it back to this one. So you see the way the layout over here is. If I don't want the stamp, or I want to omit the returning address, this address here, I just go to omit. I say that is off. But if I want it to be part, I only click on it to be part of it. Then I only say add to document. And say yes. You can see that it is on top of it. So after printing, I can go ahead and print the other document also that I want to print. When I'm done, this one is the DL size of envelope. When you go to the envelopes industry, we have different types of envelopes over there. So we have the options. When you go there, you have envelope size. You can select the type of envelope that you want to print document on. So you take note of that. So after selecting the types of the sizes of the envelopes, you can pick any of the size of the envelopes. As I said, we have the delivering address. You can change the font type. If you whatever font type that you prefer to give to it, you can change it. You can make it bold, italic, the font size, so you can change that one. So these are the font type. You can strike through superscript, but you make sure that you have to know what you are doing before you can use the superscripts and the stripe through. So when you change this one is okay, click on OK. You can apply the same thing for the returning address also. So that is how you have to go about the print options. How do you want it to be? Do you want it to be to face up or face down? So if you change the face up, is the view you are seeing there is okay for you. Just maintain it and click on OK. Then if you are to print, just come to the print direct. But since we want to add it to the document, we just apply the changes to it in that order. So that is how we go by our envelopes. Anytime that you want to put any information on envelope, you can go through this process. This is a basic way of what putting an information on your envelopes. You can go through this process and print only the envelope out. So now that we are able to do this kind of envelope work and also inserting our header and the footer, I would like us to go straight to how to print an information also in Microsoft Word. How to print an information in Microsoft Word. So we have other programs that has been open. So let me just take one of them. Let me just go through the process of the printing. To print, you can hold the control B, but I want us to use the right process. Just go to your file on the menu. Just go to print. When you go to print, you are going to see here's your print preview, how your document is going to be. When you look at it and you think it's okay for you, then you are good to go. Now, when you come to this side, we have some options settings that you need to do first. What is the name of the printer that you are issuing your command to? When you come to this way, there are different types of printers, so you have to take note of that. It can be here. I don't have any physical printer being attached to this computer, so you will see I have some of the virtual ones and the PDF type. So if you have the name of your printer, you can just select the name of the printer. From here, you can HP, LaserJet, Canon, all those types of printers. You see the one that you install to your computer, you will see the name that will pop up here. So you may have about 3-4 printers attached to install on one computer. Always you have to know the type of which of the printers that you want to issue that command to. So that's one of the things that you need to know. So if I want to go with the PDF, I can select this one. Then settings, all print all pages. If I have about 6 pages, do I need to print all those pages? If yes, I can maintain it in that order and go to the top and see what print. But if I don't want to print all of them and I want to use the pages, I have 6 pages, I can click in the box of all the pages, just type 1, 2, 4. Meaning the machine is to print from page 1, page 2, page 3 to page 4. Then it has to stop the first. Those 2 pages will not be added. Then also I can decide to say you should print page 1, comma, page 3, comma, then page 5 to 6. This one is also another way of what selecting. The printer can decide to print page 1, we'll jump to page 3, then page 5 to 6. That is how the printer is going to pick them to work on. That is for the custom settings. So here when you pick all, meaning it's going to print all the pages for you. When you select print selection, the one that you highlight, that's what is going to print for you. When you select what current page, you have about 6 pages. The one that the cursor is blinking on, that becomes what your current page. So let me go back. Let's assume you have 6 pages and my cursor is blinking on what page 3. That's page 3, right? but I scroll to the top, I'm seeing page 1. I'm seeing page 1 here, but I didn't click here. What is going to happen is that the machine will never print the one that's showing here. It's only the one that the cursor is on. That is the current page. So when I select current page, you can see the machine will only look for the current page and it's not going to print what page 1 for me. So that is how it works. So this is the current page. So when you go to the pages, that is the custom settings. Meaning you want to set the way the machine needs to print those pages out for you. That's where you go by maybe the 1, 3, 4 to 5. 4 to 5. So the machine is going to print, let me say 4 to 6, so that we get the explanation wherever. So the machine will print page 1, will jump to page 3, then from there it will come to page 4 to 6 to print those ones, all those ranges all out for you. So that is how these settings also go about. So if you know what you are doing, you can therefore select them. But if you want to print all of them, that's where you select what? All pages. I print all pages, then that one, this command will be what? We're going to print from page 1 to the 6th for you. Now when you come down also, we have print one side. If you want to print the document on only one side of the page, that's where you go to what? Print on one sided. Or if you want it to be both sided, so both sided is going to print the front and back for you. So you take note of your command that you are taking. If you want it to be front and back, that's what you take what? The both side. But if you want only in the front, just take what? The print one side. The both side is going to print, the machine will print the front and it will print the other page at the back of the same page. That is what it's talking about, what? Both side. Then now the type of paper you are dealing with, A4. So since you are dealing with the A4 will still be here for us. Now after you going through this process and think that everything is okay, that's where you issue your command print. Then the machine is going to print it out for you. But because I'm using the PDF aspect, it's asking me to save the document in what? PDF format. But if it were to be the print, you say that it will just go straight to the printer and the printer will start to issue that command. So I don't want to save this document. I'll only just okay, let me just give a name to it. Printed document file. So I click on it. It will just save this document as a PDF file for me. So this is how we go about printing in Microsoft Word. So we take note of that. I'll be adding the last topic to it, and then we bring this topic to an end. That is how to do use of formulas in Microsoft Word if you want to do some calculations. So especially when you have some figures in your table work and you want to calculate them, how you go about them. So I'll be using one or two formulas. They are all advanced things, but we are going to learn one or two of them. I hope you find this tutorial helpful and see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.